As of 2015, there are approximately 130,000 nail salons in the United States. In California alone, there are over 15,000. The nail salon industry is uniquely dominated by Vietnamese immigrant women. 81% of the workforce identifies as female, and 74% of the workforce was born in Vietnam. How did this all start? In 1975, the actress Tippi Hedren founded a program at Hope Village, a Vietnamese refugee camp in Northern California, to train Vietnamese women to become nail technicians. Her humanitarian efforts are believed to have started an industry now worth over $8 billion. Hi, my name is Ashley Tran, and I'm a fourth-year undergraduate at UCLA. For my research project, I examined how Vietnamese immigrant women working in nail salons are negotiating matters of identity. This study rests within the greater body of literature on immigration and identity formation. For many individuals, immigration prompts the need to balance ethnic identity with national identity, as the two no longer coincide. Ethnic identity is rooted in common descent and a shared language and culture. National identity is based on the recognition of and allegiance to a nation-state. Ethnic identity and national identity can also be shaped by one's gender, race, class, age, profession, and more. One past study on the Vietnamese diaspora found that immigrants are holding on to Vietnamese culture while also valuing contact with other groups in the United States. Is this the case for Vietnamese immigrant women working in nail salons? My interest in this research topic comes from my own experiences of growing up in my mother's nail salon. As a second-generation Vietnamese American woman, I am motivated to look reflectively at my community and engage in processes of reclaiming identity. From June to August 2022, I conducted participant observations and semi-structured interviews with 7 nail technicians and 1 salon owner at a nail salon in San Francisco, which we'll call 21st Street Nails. When confronted with the constant requirement to serve and please clients, Vietnamese nail technicians and salon owners have collectively developed strategies to negotiate the meaning of Vietnamese identity and the ways it can be expressed. Their strategies consist of making the nail salon a Vietnamese woman-dominated space and treating identity as a fluid concept. Let's take a closer look at how this is happening. The nail salon industry in the United States is uniquely dominated by Vietnamese immigrant women, representing a gendered ethnic niche economy. The following 2 examples illustrate that the gendered ethnic niche economy of the nail salon industry is the basis for identity-making processes among Vietnamese nail technicians and salon owners. Prior to working at 21st Street Nails, Nancy was a salon owner for 10 years. Her husband had fled Vietnam as a boat refugee and sponsored her to come to the United States in 1989. After saving money for a few years, Nancy was able to gather $500 and enroll in a training program to become a licensed nail technician. Then she began working in a salon co-owned by a Vietnamese woman and her white husband, who managed the day-to-day operations of the salon. Nancy shares that she felt uncomfortable around the man and that he treated her unfairly because she was a Vietnamese immigrant woman. As a result, she quit her job after a year and opened her own salon, where she only hired Vietnamese women to work with her. Nancy elaborates.
Cái tiệm đó cũ và nhỏ lắm, tôi chỉ có 3 người thợ thôi, nhưng nó vẫn tốt hơn làm việc cho ông đó và bị kỳ thị.
In the following interview, Lynn explains why she has only worked with Vietnamese women, never men. I don't feel comfortable hiring men. I can speak more freely around women. It's okay to use curse words. I'm a Vietnamese woman. It would be inappropriate if a man was around. Through constructing their nail salons to be spaces dominated by Vietnamese women, Nancy and Lynn engage in what is known as patriarchal bargaining. Patriarchal bargaining is a process of negotiating to maximize one's power and options within a patriarchal structure. In patriarchal bargaining, individuals draw on the resources available to them to cope with and resist male authority. Nancy left her uncomfortable work environment and created a new space of empowerment. Lynn made her nail salon a space where she could express herself candidly without challenging gender relations in the Vietnamese community. Both were able to do so because the nail salon industry is a gendered ethnic niche economy with a large number of Vietnamese immigrant women who can be hired to work in their salons. With this foundation set, we now turn to how Vietnamese nail technicians and salon owners are negotiating the meaning of Vietnamese identity and the ways it can be expressed in their routine work.
At 21st Street Nails, identity is manifested as a fluid concept when the salon owner and nail technicians engage in transnational activity and code switch between Vietnamese and English. During one of her breaks, Tham calls her sister, who lives in Vietnam, to check if she had received a remittance. Tham has been working as a nail technician for 18 years. While she is a naturalized citizen and sees the United States as her permanent home, Tham upholds her Vietnamese identity by sending monthly remittances to support her family living in Vietnam. Linh, the salon owner, shared that she has been messaging her best friend Thuy, who lives in Vietnam, to plan her next trip. Linh immigrated to the United States when she was 16 and has stayed in touch with Thuy for over 30 years despite living across the world from her. Linh hopes to visit Vietnam during the upcoming Lunar New Year holiday as she believes it is the most important and festive time of the year. Even though Tham and Linh no longer live in Vietnam, they have found ways to stay connected to the country and culture. Through intentional efforts, identity becomes a fluid concept as the definition of being Vietnamese extends beyond residing within the country's borders and new manifestations of Vietnamese identity are created. Code switching is the act of alternating between two languages due to a change in context. The salon owner and nail technicians at 21st Street Nails consider the ability to code switch into Vietnamese an indicator of Vietnamese identity. They view English proficiency positively only in the context of serving clients. For example, Tham earns a higher salary and is entrusted with managing the salon when Linh is not present because she is more fluent in English and can communicate with clients more effectively than all the other nail technicians. On the other hand, English is not supposed to be used in interactions between the nail technicians and the salon owner, as the following private conversation illustrates.
Mày có nghe Tâm bữa nay không? Nó nói cái gì? Bây giờ chơi tiếng Anh nhiều lắm. Cứ nói, oh my god, how are you? What are you eating today? Hoài à? Hồi lúc nó mới vô làm, nó không biết một chữ tiếng Anh nữa. Quên tiếng Việt hết rồi, bây giờ ta là Mỹ.
Tham's use of English with her coworkers and failure to code switch into Vietnamese according to Lin's and Nancy's expectations causes her to be marked as less Vietnamese than them. In addition, through their critique, Lin and Nancy conclude that one way for them to reinforce their Vietnamese identity and avoid being judged like them is to continue to use Vietnamese and only use English when they are under social restrictions, such as when they are serving English-speaking clients. For the salon owner and nail technicians at 21st Street Nails, Vietnamese identity is continually shifting. Thus, code switching back into Vietnamese becomes a tool for them to actively negotiate and assert their Vietnamese identity to one another. Vietnamese nail technicians and salon owners are rarely represented in popular media, and the representations that do exist are highly offensive and one-dimensional. They have been made fun of for their low proficiency of English, as well as portrayed as aggressive and money-driven. Take a look.
I do for you, long better. All right, fine, I'll have long nails, thanks. It's okay, honey, only $4 more, that's okay.
Dangerous accusations that lack evidence have also been made against Vietnamese nail technicians and salon owners, fueling hate and discrimination against Asian Americans.
This whole thing started in the state of California, the first community spread in a nail salon.
My hope is that this research project sheds light on the lived experiences of Vietnamese nail technicians and salon owners so that we can start to shift the dominant narrative and see these women as strong and inspiring agents. Their flexibility, adaptability, and creativity when navigating discourses of culture and belonging after immigrating to the United States is something to be celebrated.